guys, so in this video I'm going to talk to you about my top tips for using Adobe Acrobat Reader in Teletherapy. Adobe Acrobat Reader is a free PDF annotating software or PDF reader that is available for free on Mac and Windows, which is great. And so it's really nice to know that I can recommend the use of something to you and know that you can get it for free. And it doesn't matter if your platform has annotation tools or not, because you can just use this on your computer and screen share. So I'm going to turn my camera around, show you all my favorite ways to use it, and let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you how to do is set up a PDF for optimal viewing in Teletherapy. So let's get rid of this toolbar over here that we really don't need to see yet and just click it away by hitting the arrow here. And then also what I like to do is up here I like to hit fit one page, because often you'll want to see a full page of a worksheet. And so this is just one of my companions. Let's have a look at the prepositions area, but let's say I want to see everything that's in this document, and instead of clicking the menu I want to just see everything that's included. What we can do is we can, especially if your PDF doesn't have a menu, like this one, this has been made for Teletherapy so it has a menu, but you might just be opening a worksheet. So over here you just hit this double page thing and it will bring up a view of all the pages, and you can pull it out if you want. If you want to see 2 pages at a time, you can make this smaller and have a look and see everything. And it's a quick way just to get an overview of what's included in an activity, especially if it hasn't been made to use in Teletherapy and therefore you've got a worksheet that you used to print but you want to be able to use it in a digital way. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to the prepositions area. I'm going to pop this away because I don't need this anymore. Okay, so we've got this page here. Now as you can see, it's got a fill in the blank area, and so we want to annotate on top of this PDF, and yet there's no tools other than highlight really to be able to do that. So what you can do is see this comment bar over here, this little yellow speech bubble, you just hit that. This annoying window comes out, so you can pop that back in because we don't need that. But up here is all of our annotation tools, which are awesome. So I want to pop some text in here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the text box button here, and I'm going to draw a text box. Okay, now what I want to show you, the reason mine looks like this is, and how come the reason you couldn't actually see me draw the text box is because I've set it up like this. So over here on this A section you can set up the text, the color, the size, because when you first insert your first text box it might not look like this. You can choose to align to the center if you want, and then if you choose your text box, and then you click this area here, you can't see it very well on this, let me make it blue and then you can see there's a circle here where you can change the fill color. So I like mine to just be white, and you can choose the border, so I'm just gonna make it black so we can see it. But if you go to settings, you can do even more, and you can change to have no border and no fill color if you don't want a fill color. So I don't like having a fill color or the border because I just like being able to make it look like it's part of the worksheet, but we'll leave that on there for today just so you can kind of see where I'm working. And you can choose the opacity, like if you want it to be see-through or not here, but by dragging this down, if you move this out of the way you could see the opacity change. But I'm just going to leave that like that, and you can make them the properties default. So if I do that, make properties default, and then hit OK, the next time I add in a text box it will be set up like this, which is nice because it'll just remember the last thing you used if not. So now that I've set that up, I can double click in this box and I can type. So I'm going to actually make this centered. Oh, I can't make it centered till I've typed. So Alfie is in, oh no, it did center. Okay, so Alfie is in the tank. Okay, so now if I want to do the next one over down here, just hit that text box again, draw my text box. You can't quite see it, but it is there, it's white, and then I'm gonna say Alfie is on the tank. And so of course you could do this together. If your platform allows you to give remote access to your keyboard and mouse, your student can do the typing. You might put in the text box for them and then double click in there and say, all right, time to write our answer, and then they can do the typing. So, oops, sorry guys, I just hit my microphone. So that is how you can add a text box. Now let's look at a different area within this. I'm gonna hit the home button. Remember, not all PDFs have home buttons, it's just I've made this book companion to work in Teletherapy. Let's go to the verbs area, and this is let's go to, I'm going to go to this page. So this says look at pages 5 and 6. This is made to go with a book that is on Epic. It's a digital book, and so that's why it's so thin, so you can split screen it and send it over to the side. But what this is, what you're meant to do is circle all of the verbs that describe what you can see Nia doing. And so we could choose the pen, and we can choose the color here, we can choose the thickness here, and then our students can circle. You can also highlight, so you might say, all right, highlight all of the words that have that start with your S sound, and then you do the highlighter, and again you can choose over here the opacity, the color, the thickness. If you wanted them to be thicker, we could do thicker like that, which is really great. And then also you can add in shapes. So let's go over to this game board here that I made in Lesson Picks, and let's set this up again. Let's get rid of this bar, and let's open our comment toolbar. See, it popped up. Get rid of this because we don't need that. And then I'm going to put in a circle. Now this is going to default to what the last circle I put in was, because this is how I like to do my game pieces. So this is a game piece now that we can use on this board, and I like to have the opacity there so you can see through it. See how you can see through it a little bit, so that the student will always see their speech word, because this is a speech word game. And then we can just copy paste that or add in another one, and this time if we're doing 2-player, now the other player can choose their color. So I might choose pink. And now we've got our 2 game pieces that we can move around. And I might think, oh, that's a bit too see-through. I want to be able to not see through that so much. So just, oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. I might choose to make it a solid fill, or might choose to make it this color. So you can change the game pieces, which is great, and then put them on the start. And then you could split screen this with either one of my dice companions, my open-ended activity companion, where you can spin for speech words and how many places you move on the board, and you can also spin how many times you say your speech word. You might use my number spinners, you might use a digital dice from online, like the one that you can find on Toy Theatre. Toy Theatre has a great digital dice. You might have the student get their own dice, things like that, and so it's really great. You can roll the dice and move, and then whatever you land on you say. What I would do is when we land on this, I'd then spin my number spinner that goes up to 20, and then whatever it lands on is how many times the child has to say their words, because it might land on a 4, but it also might land on a 15, so that's a lot of productions, which is nice. Okay, and so that kind of shows you all there's a bunch of different annotation tools, but they're the ones I use the most. So you can go and check those out, and do just note, like okay, let's go back to this one. If you've used this with a student and then you want to use it again with your next student, you have a couple of options. You can either save a master copy so that you always have one copy that has been annotated on top of, or you can close this and hit don't save when it asks if you want to save a new copy because you've made changes. Or you can, if you just want to quickly get rid of some stuff, hit this comment bar again and just pop out that menu, and see here's all of the comments here. So I can just click them and then hit delete. So I'm just hitting the delete key on my keyboard, and can you see they're all going away? So I now have this fresh again. So if we said, all right, let's do this again, I could have just done that and deleted them, and we have a clean PDF again. And then another thing I want to show you is some PDFs like this one here. They've got interactive, this is an interactive PDF, so it's got places you can type. So if I put in Pig the Pug, so this is my editable book companion. So you add in information about the book, see it autofills. You add in information about the book on the first 3 pages, and then it autofills a 53 page sorry, I hit my mic again, book companion. So anyway, we're here to talk about text boxes. So see how all the text boxes have this blue shade on them? I don't really like that. I think it just makes it look a little less clean. See, this would look nicer if it wasn't blue on the background and just be part of the page. So what I do is you go to edit, you go to preferences, and all you do is untick show border hover color. Or you can change the color. I mean, if you want them to show up a different color, you can. But if we just hit OK, see it's gone now, and it's just a little bit cleaner. So all the boxes, I can still write in them. They're just not highlighted anymore, which is really nice. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out to you guys. Alright, so one thing also to consider, if you've got yourself a worksheet like this one here, or a game like this one here that you would normally print, and you're not able to annotate on it, these are all grayed out and you can't access your annotation tools, it's because the person who created this PDF has secured it to not allow any changes be made to it, and that's because they're protecting their intellectual property, and that's fine. Often this is done to protect the clip art. They don't want you to be able to steal the clip art. So what I'm about to show you can be done, and it will still protect the clip art. It will flatten it all even more so, but however it will mean that you will be able to annotate. Now, some people who sell their resources, this may be in breach of their terms of use, so you have to check. However, for most people, it doesn't make their product any less secure. If anything, it makes it even more secure. So let me show you what happens. So I'm going to go to, this is how I get around this. Go File, let's pretend that you're not able to annotate this one. This is one of those ones. File, Print. I'm going to choose Print to PDF. I'm going to choose to print all pages. I'm going to choose to make sure that it's not grayscale, that it's all the colors, and that it's fit to the page. Because if you go actual size, it goes quite small sometimes. So go fit to the page. And then I'm going to hit print. And now instead of it actually printing to paper, it's going to print to my computer, and it's going to come up and ask me to save it somewhere, which is going to happen in just a moment. So I just paused my computer while I chose a folder. I paused the recording while I chose a folder just to protect my privacy. You don't need to see all the files on my computer. But here we go. See, it just, okay. So now let me point something out to you. This is not the new copy. You're still looking at the old copy. If this was something you couldn't annotate, you still can't annotate it. All you've done is you've saved a new PDF somewhere else. So you need to go to your computer, find where you saved it, okay, because when you hit print it asks you to save it somewhere, and open that one up. So I'm going to go find that now, that new copy, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, and here it is. You can see it looks very different. So this is the, oh, let's go back to the original. Where is it? Here's the original, and then here is the printed version. So yes, some of the quality is lost. However, if this did have the annotations blocked before, it wouldn't have the annotations blocked now, and we would be able to annotate on top of it. So let me just also point out something else though. When you do this, you flatten all the hyperlinks too. So none of these buttons work anymore. They're not clickable. I'd have to bring out my menu bars over here, have a look at this, and then just find what I want to look at. However, it's still the same PDF. It's just been printed as a new PDF. Some of the colors are a bit off, but ultimately it's still exactly the same as it was before. You've just printed a new PDF. So that's what you do if you have trouble being able to annotate on top of a PDF. Okay, so another thing I want to show you how to do is extract pages from a big PDF so that you can just have a smaller PDF to send home to families for homework, if that's within the usage rights for the product that you've downloaded, or it may be your own product or your own PDF that you've created. So this here is my photo articulation cards, and we might be working on the K sound in initial position with a student, and we may have spent the session working through these cards, and I want to send them home to the parent. So, but I might want them to have it just as PDF cards that they can print and cut out, or I might just want them to have just the K initial cards, because they don't really need this entire PDF. It's a bit overwhelming and unnecessary, and to be honest, probably against the terms of use of the person who created it. So I'm just going to go over here and look at all my pages, and I can see that K initial starts from page 106 down to page 115. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go do that print to PDF thing again, but this time I'm going to make sure that I've got Microsoft Print to PDF. I'm going to choose certain pages. I'm going to choose pages 106. Oh, let me actually just take this off. So yeah, pages 106 to pages 115. Now you might want it to be set up like this, where you've just got one on each page. Obviously the tick boxes are not going to work because you're going to flatten all those when you print it, but what I might want to do instead is have this as cards. So I'm going to go multiple and choose four cards, vertical. You can see I've already set this up, that's why it defaulted to that, and landscape, and then it's going to put four to a page. which is really nice. And then I'm going to print that new PDF. When I hit print, it's going to ask me to save this somewhere on my computer. So I'm going to pause to protect my privacy, hit print, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so this now is our pages, and it's just the K ones. So you can see, and you could now email this home to a family. And they have just those few pages of a PDF. So that is just one thing I wanted to show you. I hope you found that really helpful. As you can see, Adobe Acrobat Reader makes it really easy for you to digitize any PDF that you have on hand. And I just really hope that this is an asset to you.